go. Good evening and welcome. You're watching Seeing the Unseen with Christopher LaPrath. My name's Kenan, his son, and the producer. Tonight, the title is Hellen Keller. And before I share my thought on that, just an announcement for anyone and everyone out there watching. Be sure to say something in the chat so we know you're here. There's no charge for the first time, so don't be shy. Be sure to say something, and I'll put you in line for readings. Going forward after the first one, it's $100 to cover the entire month for readings. And that's Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday at 6 p.m. Arizona time. Now, before I turn it over to Christopher for this evening's readings, the title tonight, Hellen Keller, my thought that came through is the senses we have here available to us are a precious gift. To be deprived of one is an unimaginable burden, and the reason why Hellen Keller is such an inspiration was her ability to overcome that burden in so many ways. She transmuted her pain and showed us all how strong we can each be. A great quote from her is that optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope. A person who is severely impaired never knows his hidden sources of strength until he's treated like a normal human being and encouraged to shape his own life. Keep your face to the sunshine, and you cannot see the shadows. So, thanks for listening. Enjoy. Here's Christopher.
Hey, happy Wednesday evening, everybody. Many great prayers to you. The incense I light tonight is to help you release, clear, destroy, and uncreate any self-sabotage, any limiting talk, and any obstacles that thwart you. So, I love the title, Hellen Keller, because it's absolutely perfect with the message about overcoming obstacles and the group card tonight. If we could get the group card up and running, good. Okay, got the candles on. I lit the candles with the switch. I love that. The Fool's Embrace, which is transmuting pain. As a child, I don't know if you all saw The Miracle Worker, but the Miracle Worker, the original one was with Anne Bancroft and Patty Duke. And all of us know the story about this little girl who is deaf and blind and could not speak. So her teacher, Anne Sullivan, spent hours and weeks and months and eventually years with her. And Hellen Keller became one of the greatest humanists on earth. And Kenan read some of her quotes, but this is about our group card tonight. And this is about helping you and moving energy around transmuting pain. The true test of a character is to face hard conditions with determination to make them better. To keep on trying in spite of disappointment and failure is the only way to stay young and brave. Failures become victories if they make us wise-hearted. Many of us delude ourselves with the thought that if we could stand in the lot of our most fortunate neighbor, we could live better, happier, more useful lives. It's my experience that unless we can succeed in our present position, we could not succeed in any other. So that's one of the things I wanted to share with you all tonight. So Marilyn, Lindsay, Andrea, Ricky Lynn, thanks for being here for the first time. It's nice to have you. Welcome to the show. And then what we do is I'll pull a message for you in the order that you came into the show. But even though I'm pulling a message for you, it doesn't mean it doesn't relate to all the rest of you, all the rest of us that are in the show. But this fool's embrace, what is the fool's embrace and what is transmuting pain? Well, it's when we're going through a loss, a job loss, a divorce, a death, a breakup of any kind. We think that that pain is going to be with us forever and ever and ever. And whether it's a mild disappointment or a really big searing loss that we've experienced, can you see the gift that is behind this? So, surrendering to the fool's embrace is to be enveloped in absolute love and embrace the new beginnings that come from this loss. Whether, again, it's a mild disappointment or it's one of these searing, heartrending losses. It's a radical acceptance that everything has value. Everything has value. Okay. Lana and Brenda, awesome. Thank you all for being here. So what we do, for those of you new on the show, I shuffle the cards and I let your higher self choose the message that is there. All right, my dear Marilyn. So I was gonna play a video, but then I realized you wouldn't be able to hear it. I got a video today from a woman I read for yesterday. We've been friends, and many of you expressed that after watching his show, they just it's like clearing energy, and that's really our goal for doing the show. Is the power of words is a prayer, and for you, Marilyn, this is the receptivity card. So, do you remember, Marilyn, when we had, let's see who would be on the show that would remember this? Lana, me, Marilyn, Brenda, you might remember this. When we had dial tone phones, and if you didn't have a lot of money, well, even when it began, you had to be on a party line. Now, a party line, for you, Lindsay and Andrea, Ricky Lynn, for a party line was a neighbor would basically be on the same line as your phone. So if you wanted to call somebody, you had to pick up the receiver and listen to see if anyone was already on the phone, because it could be a neighbor that was on the phone. Or so you had to kind of take turns. It was this party line. So what this card is, Marilyn, is getting your own direct line. Like, in other words, canceling the party line. You're done with the party line. Not letting people interfere or tag onto your call. So, for instance, when you worry about someone, that's a party line. that's interfering with your connection to source, God, however you want to term it, spirituality. Because it's not about worrying, it's about observing. Observing someone's behavior so that you can see below it. All right, I'll give you an example. So this woman I read for yesterday, she had all these really happy messages. I'm like, this is really odd. Like 10 cards came up, and it was all like happy, joy, love, peace. I'm like, this is odd. So we were 45 minutes into the reading, and literally, I don't know, 20 cards kept coming up that were all rah, kick him in the knee, rah, ras, kick him in the other knee. They're all, I'm like, there's some ting wongs here. Something was wrong. I knew. I said, okay, here's the deal. We're calling this. So Lana, you fish. Anyone that's been on the show that's fished, right? You know that there's this great huge trout, and you know he's down there, but you have to dangle the bait, right? And so sometimes it's not that I was dangling the bait in front of this woman, but it was like her soul, her oversoul needed to be safe. Like she knew she had to be safe before whatever this issue was would pop its head out. And right, I said, listen, we don't have to talk about this. We don't have to get it in this one reading. We don't have to do that. It's not like, in an hour and done, and if you don't get it, oh well. I said, this may take a while. This may take a week or 2 or a month or 3 for you to really take a look at it. So about 10 minutes before the end of the reading, sure enough, the issue came out and was finally safe enough to look at. And here's what she needed to look at. Her mom had left her dad. And the reason she left her dad was because the dad was stone cold silent, never talked about emotions, never talked about feelings. And the woman literally was married, but this woman's mother was married, but never ever felt married, never felt like she could even express herself. And she was constantly second guessing her husband. Well, this woman that I was reading for, the aha that she got, that it took 52 minutes to get to, the aha was, oh my God. It was like I married my dad, the same type of person. Very quiet, very John Wayne, doesn't express emotion, doesn't talk. And her fear, her constant fear that kept her party line busy from really connecting with spirit, was this fear that she was going to try so hard that she was going to give up on him. And so, I mean, when that hit the fan, it hit the fan. It was, and she sent me this 5-minute thank you this morning. She goes, I'm completely different. I feel completely different. So Marilyn, getting back to you, and I'm actually talking to you, Brenda and Lana, Ricky Lynn, Andrea, Lindsay. This is clearing your party line. This is really investing in yourself, and stop becoming involved in issues of social media and issues of politics and issues of whatever it is. Drama. That's a party line. So Marilyn, this is you coming so that your line is even clearer and more just clearer and wider and broader, and it's the receptive card. It's receiving spirit, literally. That's why when I do a reading for all of you, or some of you will call me after the show or text me and go, "What was my card?" And I go, "Hey, could you rewind the show and just watch it, because I have no idea." It's like come through you, and then it's and so Marilyn, you'll say things, and this was one of the woman's fears yesterday, that she would say the wrong thing. No, this is you saying inspired by spirit, right? And Lana and I have had these conversations, so you know what I'm talking about, Lana, too. Yeah, get all the static out, Marilyn. Yes, yeah, that's perfect. Can you hear me now? Okay. All right, my dear Lindsay. So, Lindsay, this had a lot to do with you. So, thank you, Marilyn, for pulling that card, because it definitely, with Lindsay following you, that this order falls with each one of us that are on the show. It's clearing the line. Okay. And, Lindsay, this is transformation. Hellen Keller was unaware, right, of so much. She had all these emotions built up in her, and she couldn't communicate, and she didn't realize what she was doing, or she didn't realize the meaning of words. So when you're going through this transformation, Lindsay, can you imagine how scary it was for Hellen Keller? This is your transformation. Stay with it. Absolutely stay with it. And release and clear. This is sending you energy to release and clear all obstacles, or even unconscious self-sabotage. Like this one I read for yesterday. She was self-sabotaging herself based on something that happened to her when she was a little girl. This is just letting it come up and come out. That's part of this transformation for you. This travel for you will be really profound. Lindsay, look up heron, the spiritual meaning of heron, Heron, or crane. I think heron and crane are very similar, but there's something you have this crane energy around you. So thank you, Kenan, for looking that up. Cranes represent wisdom, longevity, peace, and prosperity. And it's repairing the human heart. It has to do with speaking to the human heart and speaking from the heart. Indigenous people believe that cranes are a symbol of hope, joy, and new beginnings. Yeah. Oh, in Asia, happiness and eternal youth. So in Japan, there's the tortoise, the dragon, and the crane are the most holy creatures. And again, they symbolize good fortune and longevity. That's what's happening right now. It's a major transformation toward abundance, longevity. But it's, Lindsay, you have it's like you're on this long marathon and you just need a cold drink of water. That transformation is that cold drink of water. Okay. All right, my dear Andrea. So, Andrea, anywhere where you have believed that life is hard, can you release, clear, destroy, and uncreate that now? Anywhere where you say relationships are hard, work is hard, career is hard, job is hard. Um, when you look at this flower, this daisy, could you look up spiritual meaning of daisy? This is that daisy coming through the rock. It as a ceiling, it's like, oh, no way. There's like a rock above me. I'm not, no, 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 not, no. It's not about thinking about growing. It's simply growing. Okay. Could you pull up that Norse mythology one? The one you just were at. There you go. The daisy is known as the sacred flower for the goddess of love, beauty, and fertility. They symbolize new beginnings and children. So you're giving birth to a new idea, a new way of a new life, basically a new life. You're going to prosper and grow no matter where. So don't make it about the place. Make it about where you want to be. Because daisies symbolize rebirth and renewal. And they're the first to bloom usually after winter. It represents life triumphing over death. It's like a new life. So it's very much like Lindsay's card, transformation. And I love this because they all are fitting together here. Don't get, so I will say, don't get stuck on a place and think that it has to be in one place. How else could it be? Universe, how else can it be? Okay, who's next? Ricky Lynn, thank you for being on the show. It's really nice to have you. So this has to deal, Ricky Lynn, with the thunderbolt. It's a it's a restructuring for you, complete restructuring, where things, I mean, this doesn't look like a real happy card, right? But it doesn't mean, it has to be where things are going to fall apart, but then they have to in order to restructure. So if you buy a beautiful piece of land and there's an old shack on it, you don't get mad at the land, right? You don't, oh, well, this land is worthless because it has a shack on it. No, it's an opportunity. You tear the shack down and you build this beautiful home. I would highly recommend stop thinking negatively in any way, shape, or form about a person, a place, a thing, a situation. Because you have to allow people to hit rock bottom. You have to allow them to hit rock bottom. Otherwise, it becomes codependent. It becomes a, what's the other word for codependency, or enabler. There you go. Enabler, that's the word. and I know it's really, really challenging. It's really, really tough, especially if it's somebody you love. But it's really important for them, allow them to hit rock bottom, and to not and be free. The reason is because that's when they may get the lesson, but they won't get the lesson until they absolutely hit rock bottom. I mean, and in no way, shape, or form enabling anything or anyone. All right, my dear Lanny, here we go. Wow. Oh my God, Lana. It's what I talk about every show. It's what every show is about. Um, source. I call this the God card. So I'm going to go back, and because I've got to say something else to Ricky here. So Ricky, this show helps you to withdraw your energy from situations like that. Okay? Because it's your higher self, it's your source that pulled that message. So you know that source is with you. Yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah, this is a Japanese deck. So yeah, it is like the Tower card, kind of. But it's not so much. It's allowing people to hit rock bottom. Okay, so Lana, you know, I don't know what electric company you use up there, but you might just want to call them and just have them shut off your electricity, because you can plug everything into yourself now. Girl, there's so much power coming off of you and through you and for you. Ask your angels, God, Christ, however you want to term it, how best to use this. Know that you're a light in the dark. And please understand how powerful you are and the importance that you have and where you're at for the people that are around you and with you. These souls in your family that have come from heaven and are here to learn their lessons. You're like the 10,000 watt bulbs on a football field at night, right? You're lighting a way for them. You're absolutely lighting a way for them. And anywhere that you're doubting that, are you willing to release, clear, destroy, and uncreate that doubt? This is absolutely a message from God, from Spirit, from Light, from Source, that you're playing a very, very important role now. Like you're at full power. You are at full power. And you'll be directed as to where to direct that light. Big time. Okay, my dear Brenda. Okay, Brenda. When you go boating, this is funny because Lana's a big boater. You want to stay really, especially when the waves are big, you want to stay really, really close to the shore so your boat gets cracked and beaten on the rocks, right? No. So Brenda, Anywhere where you're hanging on to rocks, um, let go, let go, let go. Go with the flow. Get out of your head. You're, excuse me. I don't know if you've ever been caught in a rip current, a rip tide at the ocean. But the worst thing you can do is swim against it. You have to actually swim vertical to get out of it, or vertical, sideways to get out of it. So parallel, parallel, parallel to the shore, parallel to the shore to get out of it. Let go, Brenda. Let go. Let go. Let go. Stop talking about the issue. Stop giving the issue energy. Stop giving the person energy. Every time you're talking about a situation, you're giving it more energy. Okay. And my dear Laurel, Texas. Okay. Well, okay. So actually 3 cards fell out for you, Laurel. The stress card. The schizophrenia card. And the rebirth card. Okay, so let's go back. This is the it's not that you can't be around stressful people. You can be around them for probably no longer than 30 seconds without getting some on you. So if you've been stressed, it's not your stress. And then when people are not who they present themselves to be, it's the same way with we call them two-faced people. At least when we were growing up, my mom used to call them two-faced people. That's the schizophrenia. It's simply not getting involved with them. It's or limiting your exposure to them and understanding their stress is not your stress. Or it's not your fault, not even taking it on. It has nothing to do with you because you've got the rebirth card. So this is a new people, new friends, new relationships coming into your world. Give it about, it'd be about 10 weeks, but there's a rebirth occurring, like a major, great life change for you in a good way. Yeah, I know you can feel it, Lindsay. Absolutely. Heron symbolizes it teaching how you become comfortable in certain situations. Heron symbolism is asking you to follow your path and not lose, and not those of your peers. Yeah, this trip will be amazing for you. That's the transformation card, and that it's really interesting because you bring this up right as I'm pulling a card for. Oh, and Jared and Kat are here as I'm pulling a card for Laurel, which is rebirth. All right, Kat. Hey, Jared. Glad you guys could make it. It was perfect timing. So Jared and Kat, we started the show with Hellen Keller and the obstacles that she had to overcome. This is absolutely cranking up the energy. There are sometimes where you don't really want to push things, you don't want to force things, and then there are times, yes, and you know when to do that. This is cranking up the energy to, or your intention, or your focus. Like this is pushing through the focus and getting it done. And you've got angels and spirit to help push you through. And no apologies for being intense. It's like cranking up your spirit, cranking up your energy. You know, when Christ went into the temple and he overturned the tables, that was a little intense. Oh, you know, somebody that's enlightened probably shouldn't do that. Yeah. This is cranking up your intensity big time. Pushing through. Go for it. Absolutely go for it. Yeah, and Kat, again, you accomplish more. So I'm gonna say again, I want you to stay on cleaning your house. I mean, energetically and spiritually. So man, you know, the houses up north, you know, we would a lot of houses would have porches. And if you came in from the snow, you'd have to stomp your boots off and take them off on the porch before you walked in the house. I'm going to tell you, put salt at all of your doors. This is keeping energy out of your house, of where you've been. And when you lay the salt out, you simply say, nothing and no one, unless it's for my best and highest interest, will enter here. Nothing and no one is allowed in this space unless it's for me and my family's best and highest interests. It's really important to be more vigilant with that. And then it's kind of important for you to take a short trip. You've got to go play. You need some time downtime. Go play. Go have fun. Okay, love you all. We'll do this again Sunday night. And have a great night. Call me, text me if you have any questions. Love you.